The new question just this week, could two of the most infamous killers ever soon be headed toward freedom?
David Lyle and Erik Menedez making new headlines 35 years after murdering their parents. All the breaking details on 2020 right now.
As I went into the room, I just started firing.
What was in front of you?
My parents.
The press frenzies just this week.
20 family members of both sides are here to urge the DA to resentence.
And this family is saying they've been punished enough. One of the most notorious double murders ever.
I'm just a normal kid.
Oh, Erik, you're a normal kid who killed your parents.
Now, fact.
Wish that I could take that moment back.
And Ryan Murphy's fiction, getting a new generation obsessed.
I would say people do believe that it was an act of self-defense.
At the same time as a re-examination in the DA's office. You said that you might rule on the resentencing in October.
Everybody has an opinion about this case.
This is not a child abuse trial. This is a murder trial.
Tonight, their only side-by-side interview.
I couldn't accept it.
You couldn't accept it, but you called the police. You pretended that you hadn't done it.
Plus, what has never aired before.
How close the two of you are.
And the evidence getting a new look now.
That's the man here. Just raped me.
Tell me about the letter.
Erik wrote in the letter, I'm afraid every night.
I think it's total BS. It's all nonsense.
Was this a miscarriage of justice?
I've just got to find out what time I'm being picked up. We're here to support Erik and Lyle, and it's time for them to be released. We're going to go have breakfast with the supporters of Erik and Lyle. That we're getting ready for the press conference at 1. It's a family reunion, and it's a time for gathering and showing a collective support, which we hope is sending a powerful message to the world and to the district attorney. We want to see these boys released from prison. It's time. Well, hello, everybody.
Oh, time has come. It's been long enough. I get so emotional thinking about it.
This is a prime example of showing support for the family. That's what all of us are doing now, because we love the boys so much.
This week, nearly 20 members of both sides of the Menendez Brothers family came out in full force in front of dozens of cameras to emotionally plea for their release.
This is about truth, justice, and healing.
I never thought this day would come. It's time to give them the opportunity to live the rest of their lives free from the shadow of their past.
They were boys, young, scared, and abused by their father in ways no child should ever experience.
It is time for Erik and Lyle to come home.
Their notorious case is back in the headlines 35 years after their parents' brutal murder.
What's the problem? What's the problem?
Don't kill my parents.
Pardon me?
Don't kill me.
It was from the jump one of the biggest cases in Los Angeles and in the country. No one could believe that these two young men had killed their parents this way.
Entertainment executive Jose Menendez and his wife were slain in the family room of their Beverly Hills mansion.
You had two young brothers armed with shotguns accused of killing their parents.
Society focuses on that one moment, that one crime, but there's more to it.
Their freedom, once unimaginable, is now looking more and more possible. You know, how they killed their parents, Jose and Kitty, was always clear. But why they did it has divided the nation.
Remember, this was not a whodunit. This was why. Physical, verbal, psychological, sexual abuse that went on for years.
Lyle and Erik Menendez are stone-cold murderers. None of the abuse excuse evidence is corroborated, but even if you accept that it's true, abuse does not justify a revenge killing. Never. Never. Never, ever.
We are in a fascinating time in society now, and everybody has an opinion about this case.
There are some who argue that the sex abuse was fabricated.
Sure they do. They don't want to admit the truth.
From ABC News, this is 2020. Tonight,
I killed my parents.
2020 covered the Menendez murders extensively from the start. And when a new generation discovered it in the age of TikTok, we were there.
Enter TikTok. Amazing. The Menendez story going viral in 2021.
I don't believe they got a fair trial.
They don't deserve to live the rest of their life in prison.
I think they're seen as the victims of a less enlightened time.
I would say people of my generation predominantly do believe that it was an act of self-defense.
I just told him, I don't. I'm sorry.
Now, the wildly popular scripted Netflix series Monsters is creating a new wave of interest in the case that's gaining momentum.
And he said that he didn't mean to hurt me and that he loved me.
Rosie O'Donnell, who's become friends with the brothers, is now calling for their release.
Do you think their punishment fit their crime?
Their punishment has outlasted. They were 21 and 18 when they committed their crime. Their brains were not even formed yet.
All as a powerful movement builds online to set the brothers free.
With the Milli Vanilli song, Lyle dedicated to his parents, blowing up on TikTok.
These kids, they get impassioned, you know, that 18, 20 in college, and they blew up this Free the Menendez Brothers. Absolutely blew it up.
But TikTok is more the court of public opinion. It's not the law.
TikTok is 100% the wrong forum for this. The reason we have rules and law is because when awful things like this happen, we have a forum. It's called a court system.
And now the court system itself might have to reconsider.
In 2023, the Menendez brothers' attorneys filed a new motion citing newly resurfaced evidence in a push to get them out of prison.
That catalyst was something in real time that wasn't available, something else that was not available.
The evidence? A letter from Erik Menendez to his cousin, alluding to his father's abuse, written months before the murders.
I knew immediately that it was a potentially major piece of evidence.
The other piece of evidence? A new alleged victim of the father, Jose Menendez. This one is a former member of the 80s boy band Menudo, Roy Rosselló. The Menudo star said that Jose molested him in his home. In that home.
Not surprising. The significance is now, oh, this does support that this man, Jose Menendez, was a sexual predator, not only with his children, but with other people's children.
And now, a blockbuster move. The LA District Attorney,
good afternoon, everyone,
announced that his office is reviewing the Menendez case.
One of the most notorious murder trials in U.S. history.
Los Angeles District Attorney is considering whether Lyle and Erik Menedez should be resentenced.
The decision to move forward is now in the hands of the district attorney, who'll need to consider the questions: have the Menendez brothers served enough time? And have they been rehabilitated? Do you think the Menendez brothers will walk free someday?
Given the totality of the circumstances, I don't think that they deserve to be in prison until they die, okay? I don't believe that.
Lyle and Erik Menendez have been behind bars now for more than 3 decades. And they've only ever spoken once, sitting side by side, to our own Barbara Walters. Tonight, never before seen excerpts from that iconic interview.
Do you think you're evil?